Okay, appreciation. This is a topic class about how we take or block appreciation.
Barb's not answering.
So, what I want you guys to do is give each other appreciation starting now. Simply appreciate each other. I'll give Barb a call and see what she's up to.
Well, I was just doing that.
Oh, all right, you go ahead then. After you, my dear Alphonse.
We have to tell each other 3 things we appreciate in the other person.
I don't know if I can come up with 3 things.
Just give appreciation to each other spontaneously. Call it out, blurt it out. Go, start.
Okay. Greg, I really appreciate you working with me, and I appreciate the way you are committing yourself to doing, and I'm appreciating the way you open to me every time talking about very private things. Okay?
Thank you very much.
And Trini, I appreciate the way you exercise, even if I know that it's hard for you. And I appreciate what you are doing for me with the CD, and you know what I'm talking about. And I appreciate you being on the earth, being present in my life.
Well, thank you, Rosella.
Oh, you're very welcome, Fanny. Michael,
Yeah, well, you saved our lives. Wyatt says that all the time. He said he's so terrific and patient and willing to be with us.
yes, absolutely. Michael, I know you very little, but from what I'm reading to in Twitter, I appreciate your honesty and your willingness to be unique and the way you are open. And you let us get to know yourself. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Bayer, what you say, I appreciate everything in you. I appreciate you the way you teach us, sometimes screaming and being the tough guy, but I think it's always for our own good. And I owe you so much that I can't even start telling you how much I appreciate you. I'm totally in total appreciation of you.
Why?
You are my mentor and my master.
Thank you so much.
I love when you Skywalker.
Skywalker, you know who started that? It was Greg. Because years ago, we were on Skype, and we were waiting for Bayard, and Greg told, where's Bayard Skywalker? And that stuck, and I said, yes, he's Skywalker.
Well, Michael, I think you saved Barb's life. I mean, I was talking to her, and she was devastated that time about a month ago or whatever it was, and you just did some great things with her.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Michael, you really get her, and you allow her to be herself without trying to change her. She doesn't react to you the way she might to someone else. And I appreciate you for your love of Barb and how you've extended that to all of us, and that you've been willing to see more about yourself and to have change in you. You know, just keep changing for what you know is good and growing. Very caring, giving person, and you have faced or are facing some things that have sort of been thwarting you your whole life, whether it's known or unknown to you. So it's really, I really appreciate your embracing the new Michael, the new old Michael. It's like the Michael you always knew.
Well, it's nice that when someone is on where they are,
Yeah.
you know, it gives us something to interact, and I think you benefit from that, and we benefit from it too.
I would say sometimes I'm not necessarily wary, but I don't really totally open up to someone that I don't know, particularly because I've seen thousands of people have kind of come through and, you know, over the years. And I feel that we are brothers, or becoming brothers, and feel very good with you.
They're great.
With you, Rosella, I trust you with, you know, to say the unfathomable, ineffable, you know, I'm talking about cats, the things about me, that to share that with you, and I know that you just keep seeing me, and assisting me, and your love is just outstanding. You're just a big person. You should be Prime Minister of Italy.
Or what we have. I can grant you.
You should be the Ayatollah, the Pope.
No, I don't want to be the Pope. No, not the Pope. Don't do that to me. No, anyway, thank you very much, Greg.
I just hope they aren't listening in on our call, you know.
There's a movie about the Pope, the guy who was elected Pope, and he didn't want to be Pope, so he turned it down. It's kind of a good,
Yeah.
in Italian also.
Yes, it's a great responsibility, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate, Greg, that you develop what I see as self-control, and you've gotten very good at communicating when you probably even don't want to. So, I mean, I know you want to ultimately, but sometimes.
I think that's the thing I've come into, that I want to. I know it's the best way.
Yeah,
So-
it was really great.
That was really turning around a lifelong block for me.
Well, this is very nice. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Barb's still not on yet. She'll be here shortly whenever she...
Don't
I
forget
want
about me, I wanted to make
Yeah,
my
okay.
contribution.
I want each of you to
Go ahead,
think. I want each of you to think of something that you accomplished today. It can be a very seemingly to you small thing.
Could we go on Michael first? He wanted to do some appreciation.
Oh, sure, Mike. Oh, yeah, you didn't get a turn. Go ahead, Mike.
I think when Barb gets on too.
Yeah, she's...
Okay.
Actually, Barb's are coming on here.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Well, I'm glad that, I wanted to give her an appreciation, so I'm glad she's here.
Hold on, wait till she connects here. I'll tell you when.
I was jumping the gun.
Well, it was an interesting thing because I have issues come up for me in the format that you just created for that appreciation thing. It triggered me.
Oh.
And because I like structure, and when it becomes a free for all, then I perceive this competition, and I kind of I withdraw, and I'll be the last person because I don't want to compete, you know. And so I'm more comfortable with, like, if you had said, okay, now Michael, it's your turn, now Greg, it's your turn, now Rosella, it's your turn, then I would have been more comfortable. So, Fire, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to be challenged, and to be triggered, and to work with that.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Barb, are you here?
Not yet.
Okay, then I want to appreciate Greg for most of the time when I see you, you're eating and chewing on something. And I appreciate that because that makes me feel like whenever I want to, I can do it too. So it gives me the license to I like the freedom that it creates. Like it helps me feel like we're not formal here. We can. I appreciate, Rosella not for petting your cat, and I appreciate that we can get up and walk away and chew and all that. So, and I feel, Greg, you're the one that sets that example. Thank you.
Well, I'm breaking the rules. We're supposed to be on video here, but
No, it's not a rule. I mean, it's fine.
There's Barb, okay.
Hi, Barb.
Good morning. Sorry about that. I forgot all her.
Hi, Bob. Hi.
We're telling each other what we appreciate, Barb.
I have an appreciation for Barb.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But Michael is just in the middle of it, so go ahead, Michael.
I appreciate that Barb has helped me learn over years, a period of years, about disappointment and what to do, because Barb, you missed what was said before, but somebody pointed out that are you there, Barb?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody pointed out that like that I appreciated me for sticking with you for years, and
Straighten them out.
and not being and then us not triggering each other, or you not being triggered by me as much as you are from other people, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to appreciate Barb for giving me the opportunity to learn to let go, because I can't control Barb. Barb just comes and goes as she pleases. She does what she wants. And that's a challenge for me. And I've dumped a lot of people out of my life because I couldn't get them to do things the way I wanted. And Barb has been an exception where I've learned to love Barb and appreciate Barb and let Barb be Barb. And know that if she disappears for a few days, even though I wanted her here for a party or for support, and she couldn't be here, that I know she's going to always surface and be back. And I've learned to love her and accept her just as who she is, and that's been a huge growth experience for me. So thank you, Barb. I appreciate you for giving me that opportunity.
Right. I appreciate you for recognizing that. It's funny that we're talking about disappointments, because that was one of Michael's recurring experiences of being disappointing people, taking that personally.
Yeah.
We used to talk about that over the years, about how you just can't take that personally. That has nothing to do with him when somebody doesn't show up, or, it does to a certain extent, but that, you have a control over your responses, something like that. Nancy Kenny's here.
Hello, Nancy.
Well, Barb, we're giving appreciation, and everybody went except you. So, hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
So, I mean, appreciation for everybody in general, or ourselves?
You can appreciate anybody, including Nancy. Anybody who's here.
I appreciate Nancy for always being so cheerful and everything. Someone's got to be the blind. She does well. It's appreciating Michael for being my one intelligent, an intelligent, on-the-ball friend who takes this kind of study seriously and has got a good relationship with Barb and everybody here. I've got some customers. I'm going to appreciate them, and I'll be right back. That really means a lot. Like, I thought you were really great last night, Michael, made the meeting. And Fran and Greg for just towing the line and always being consistent, never being late or never failing. And Ross, I don't know where you came from, but a gift from God. And
That's exactly right. Russ just dropped out of the sky.
Just dropped out of the sky. And what will you do with the fire? Just like last night, that was just brilliant. I don't know whether we have what we have without fire to bring it all together into some kind of worthwhile instruction for everybody. But I'm pretty grateful that I have this team, this group. Sometimes I get discouraged. You see me get discouraged. I was discouraged this morning. So I feel like I do a lot of work. Like sometimes I think I'm doing a lot of work and I don't have enough to show for it, or I end up getting people disappointing me, like what Michael was saying. But now people are turning it around, so I'm appreciating my relationships. So I'm grateful for my life. Who's that other number right there? That's fired? No.
Well, Franny has the phone on, too.
Oh, okay.
I want to, okay, Barb, just tell us one little thing that you accomplished already today.
one thing accomplished. So I got this place going. I found something I lost. I fed a bunch of animals. Did I accomplish?
That's good. All right there, that's enough.
Yeah.
Ross, what did you accomplish today so far?
I wanted to clean the new feature, and it was totally new to me. And when I have to handle new things, I get nervous because I'm afraid I'm not able to do it. So I sat calmly, I read the instructions, and I did it.
Okay, nice.
And
Michael?
to me, it's a big accomplishment to do something technical.
Okay, good. Michael, what about you? What have you accomplished? Just any small thing is fine.
Nothing. I already got up and went for my hour bike ride, and I felt really strong, and
All right,
I feel very empowered.
that's an accomplishment. And I too have done a whole bunch of things for myself, including running, doing a Kalima, brushing my teeth, and so on. Franny, what about you? What have you accomplished?
Well, I ate breakfast early, which I never seem to,
All right,
get out on time. I thought that was a big accomplishment, actually.
okay.
And then I was just, doing the things. I had a lot of stuff to put away from yesterday, so I was putting stuff away and doing things for my spiritual sister.
All right, and Greg, finally, what about you?
I booked transportation for my father, changed his doctor's appointment 3 times to workout schedule for
All
my
right,
father, and for everybody, for the bus driver, for the doctor, for everything. And I mentored a woman on how to deal with her relationship with a senior who lives here in the building.
okay, well, that's good enough for you. Now, all of us have appreciated ourselves by saying what we did.
I then want to tell my appreciation to Bob. Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
So Barbara, you are a tough lady, and I'm feeling angry, desperate, I'm feeling down, but you never ever give up. And I highly appreciate that.
That's
You
true.
never give
I
up.
don't know if I should be proud of that.
That's true.
No, just be proud of it. Sure.
I think, now see, I just wanted you to notice something. Here's an example of Barb not letting in appreciation.
Yeah.
And also an example of Barb not appreciating herself for her stick-to-itiveness. So this is what this meeting is about. Barb, you just gave us a great example of what the meeting is about.
You're always so good with those examples.
Yeah,
Barb.
those negative
I
examples.
appreciate that.
We're talking today about what interferes with us letting in appreciation. Or maybe, Barb, maybe you should go on mute now.
Yeah.
What interferes with us letting in appreciation? And it starts with what interferes with us appreciating ourselves. Because that's what it really comes down to. You start out and you, like, when was the last time you accomplished something and you said it wasn't good enough? Or it wasn't enough, or you were supposed to do more, or there was something else you should have accomplished and you didn't, so what you did accomplish didn't count. And what happens is, after a while, people can't let anything in. Franny was talking to me about how in our old company, we used to disrespect each other. People were always telling each other what they failed at or didn't do.
That came from Greg, actually. He actually stood up.
Well, that interfered with people even being ever able to let in appreciation. When it came at them, they would just say, oh, well, this person really doesn't know what's wrong with me, or this person doesn't mean it. And they didn't appreciate themselves because they had been forbidden
Yeah.
to appreciate themselves. because they were told that they had to focus on this lack, this deficiency. And it really ruined our company. This was a
Yep.
appreciation. This is a very important course. It's a major issue. Now, everybody test, does your ability to receive appreciation rise when your interests rise? The level of your interest, when that rises,
Yes.
Yes.
My interest in someone else and my caring for them. As soon as I start looking at someone and saying, what is it about that person? I see her or him, that there's something that I appreciate about them.
another good question that you bring up, Greg.
Form of love, in a way.
If my level of caring goes up, does my appreciation of myself rise? Everybody test that.
Yes?
Michael, what did you get?
I'm a little bit lost actually at the moment. Like I'm a little thrown off because I thought the topic was going to be about disappointment, and I'm trying to figure out if we change topics or whether if it's the same topic or something. So I'm a little distracted because I'm trying to figure out what we're doing. Sorry. Did we change the topic?
It's a meeting on appreciation, and it always was. And when I wrote to you, what I told you was that we could handle your issue with disappointment in this meeting,
Oh, okay.
which we actually handled it last night to some extent, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But see, it's relevant. How is the issue of disappointment relevant to the issue of appreciation?
That's what I was trying to think about. That's what I was trying to work with, which is what distracted me.
Well, do you have any thoughts about that so far?
Too much noise, Bart. That you pounding.
Oh, sorry.
Let me unmute, thanks.
Sorry behind.
There we go.
So the question is, how is disappointment related to appreciation?
Well, the question is, what have you come up with that relates them in the last few minutes?
I didn't come up with any, like asking myself the question, and that's what I was thinking about, and that's what was distracting me. But I'll have to think about it more. I could do that if you want me to, and answer.
Well,
I think there is a link. I'm starting to feel there's a
would
link.
being disappointed with yourself or another person interfere with you appreciating yourself or another person?
Well, I can relate it to this question.
No, actually test that. Test it. See if you get a signal on it.
I got a signal about Barb. Yes, because if I feel disappointed that Barb didn't do something that I wanted her to do, that I'm not appreciating that Barb was being Barb and all the great things about Barb. So there's an inversely proportional relationship between disappointment and appreciation.
What about appreciating yourself?
Wait a minute. I want to stay with what you just said for just 1 second, Barb, and then you can talk. But you just said there's an inversely proportional relationship between disappointment and appreciation. Thank you. That's right.
Yeah.
I had an office manager when I first started with our courses. Some of you knew her. Her name was Molly Brooks. And I would go out in the late afternoon, and when I'd come home in the middle of the night, I'd look on the desk and she'd have enrolled 3 people in our course. There'd be 3 registrations sitting there, all paid for and everything. And the next morning she'd come in 2 hours late, and all she ever got talked to about was the 2-hour lateness. This went on for like years, And here this poor person was doing this stellar job, and she didn't get appreciated for it because she had this thing she did that was so disappointing. I used to be so excited about seeing her in the morning, and then she didn't show up for a while. And I didn't know what to do. I was stupid at the time. See, something happened to me when I started curing things. I don't know how it happened, but for whatever reason, when I started curing things, I stopped focusing on this negative stuff. And I really was able to just like, as you were just saying, Michael, to like Barb for all the great things she does do. So with that, I'll open up to Barb or you, whoever, whichever wants to talk about your own experience, whatever you want to talk
I
about.
just want to say one thing about what you were just talking about with Molly. Because we had her in a circle once, and people were telling her all this wonderful stuff, and she just could not accept it.
That's true. I remember her.
That's one aspect of appreciation and getting appreciation.
Well, she was utterly committed to self-sabotage, and none of us picked up on it and actually addressed it directly the way Michael is addressing this now. So go ahead, Michael,
Yeah.
since you're addressing the problem, be my guest.
By the way, I'm stepping out. I have to go to my father's apartment. It's be on mute unless I'm called upon.
Okay. Barb, Michael, can you hear me? Can you go?
I was gonna say there's also a relationship between, like, this is where I'm different than Michael, and I think he's kind of almost a stronger personality, but when someone disappoints me or I feel let down or like I'm not getting what I want from somebody, then I start feeling like I reject myself. Like Michael would tend to reject the person or feel bad about that person, where I start thinking there's something wrong with me. And then then I get resentful or, just low energy.
Very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Or if someone just, I need a lot of reassurance. Or someone says something, general to me and I want something specific or I end up just like I'm just, no matter how I fight, I'm not getting what I want, so then I feel.
So what you're saying here implies that we need to stay in our love. And that means
That love for ourselves, you mean? Or?
we're ourselves, other people, and so when the other person disappoints you, you don't turn it in on yourself or at the other person. You just see what the person did and realize, what the parameters of what can be done and what can't be done are.
So my reaction, my response is usually to feel like inadequate in myself. Like I'll think, like I think other people are doing something better than what I'm doing, or I can't catch up, or I can't keep up, or I don't have anything to offer. It just like creates this long, like litany of things that are wrong with me, and that I'll never catch up, and that kind of thing, or I'm falling behind, and people say pat things like, "Oh, you're loved," and I just seem to turn it into onto myself to make myself feel worse. Like I did sort of like with Rosella, like when someone says, "You never give up," what I hear is, I'm losing and I can't give up, so that is that kind of stuff. So I don't.
But I think you don't give up because you are a warrior.
I guess so, but it just always makes it. What I hear is like I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Well, Barb, when you were going to get your tooth pulled, and you called me, and you were saying like that you didn't want to get it pulled, and you were talking to me about it, and I realized that you would fight. Most people wouldn't have done what you did. Most people would have just meekly gone in and got their tooth pulled, and you fought, and That's why I came through for you. You actually caused me to come through for you. I just would have ignored the issue. Like if you'd called me up and said, "Oh, I have a dentist appointment. I have to go get a tooth pulled," I would have said, "Oh, well, listen, I'll see you the next day then," or something. You know,
Right.
I never would have called you back and said, "Don't do it. You know, we can fix this."
Amazing. Man, it's kind of amazing.
Sure.
Just saved it. Doesn't hurt at all either.
Well, now, go on mute, Michael. What do you have to say now?
Well, okay, well, I'm aware that there's a fundamental difference between two approaches to disappointment. Barb was expressing one viewpoint, which is that if somebody doesn't respond in the way that we want, then it can make us feel bad about ourselves. Like, what did I do wrong, or I disappointed somebody else, or I'm not living up to someone's expectations, or I'm failing. But there's the opposite viewpoint, which is that if I'm not feeling good about myself, or I'm not feeling complete, or I don't believe in myself, then I'm likely to be triggered and to become disappointed when other people don't
Yes.
fall into line. So am I making that clear?
Yes.
What the two different viewpoints are? What comes
said.
first, the chicken or the egg?
Well said.
Because for myself, I noticed that if I believe in myself and I'm not looking to other people for validation, then I'm not so triggered if someone doesn't do what I thought they were going to do, what I wanted them to do. But it's when I'm needing validation, or I don't believe in myself and I'm looking for that from somebody else, then it becomes high stakes, whether the other person does it or not.
You know, funny thing, like, yesterday Anna told me she was going to call me around 10. And she didn't call, and she didn't call, and she didn't call, and then it was like 11:15. And you know, with every 5 or 10 minutes that passed when she didn't call, I actually felt better instead of worse. Like, I wasn't feeling like, oh, maybe she doesn't love me or saying. I was like ticking off all the things I was accomplishing because I wasn't talking to Anna, you know? I was getting a lot done and I was thinking, oh, this is great, you know? I got all this time now. So, see, I don't have that immune dysfunction. I must have cured it back there somewhere because I don't get disappointed. Like, you know, I had negativities about Barb. This was in 1994. And I tested, I had negativities and I started removing them. And wouldn't you know it, like I spent probably 6 weeks removing negativities about Barb. But of course I knew that when I removed those, I was removing a lot of other things too. So it wasn't about Barb. It was about me getting cured. And I finally removed all of them. And you know, I've never had any negativities about Barb since. It's just like never came back. So, I don't know what. It became very easy for me to appreciate Barb in a way that I was never able to appreciate her before. You know, after 1994, I really did appreciate Barb in a whole new way. And, you know, that's probably why Barb called me at the end of '96 and invited herself to come live with us. She probably picked up psychically that I appreciated her. And I have to give you some credit, Barb, because you have a basic tendency to move towards positive things. And you should appreciate yourself for that.
Right, and I do want to say that what Michael was saying just before Barb started talking was that, Barb, that has always been one of your things, is that it seems like you have low self-esteem and that all your problems kind of center around whether or not you feel good about yourself. It's like how you approach all your situations. And it doesn't seem to me to be any reason to walk like low self-esteem, because you're great, then you, and you should just see that as a feeling rather than as some reality.
I can give you a lot of reasons, but I won't. No.
That's funny that you said that, because, you know, all your whatever reasons you got. I mean, I think you were telling a joke, right?
Not kind of, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of it relates to
You know, Joe's always
physical
having
pain or deformity.
truth.
One thing I said, Barb, is that you can come up with a wisecrack in any situation.
Well, a lot of my issues change back to just not finding out a way to take care of my body, like just being in pain or being uncomfortable, that kind of thing. Just makes me mad. A lot. Being cold. Oh my God, I'm surrounded by so much sugar here. There's sugar everywhere. We expanded
Maybe she can make, why don't you ask, see if she can make some, like fruit juice sweetened cookies or something.
I know, I'm gonna make some myself today and just try to make something different. You know, something
Use
nice.
use fructose or fruit
Yeah, you use
apple
fructose
juice,
and
grape juice or.
dates, we have dates and date sugar. I can just make ones that aren't so sweet.
You know, the funny thing is, I put absolutely no sugar in my cookies and they
I'm
taste
gonna make a
sweet to me.
protein cookie.
There you go.
There's a lot of sugar actually has a chemical, because your brain may go into some sort of chemical reaction.
Yeah,
It can actually affect your emotions and your.
right, totally.
Now, if I do destructive things, I will not be able to appreciate myself or anybody else. Like, I have never appreciated or felt like I accomplished anything when I had a 2-hour argument with Franny. Generally, when I get into arguments with people, I do not later look back on the morning and say, oh, I accomplished having an argument with Franny. You know? So, there's a surefire way to block appreciation.
You're arguing with one of the best, you know.
I'm arguing with an unbeatable arguer.
Okay.
Now, Barb, I'm supposed to make a movie with Anna right around closing time today. So I'm warning you so that you can be there. Make sure that
I'll be sitting on the sign to get you in the door. Works for me.
make sure you're there to fill in for her, okay?
They're over here.
I have the raw.
These are peanut butter for those French fries. And those are healthy. Someone wants to know where's the healthy cookies. 2 healthy and 10. Those are raw chocolate and those are peanut butter with oats and honey. The rest are dangerous.
Barb, let me ask you another question, okay? Last night, Michael pointed something out to you and you cured something.
Say that again?
At our cure meeting last night, Michael pointed something out to you and you cured something.
Yes, I do. That was pretty powerful.
Now,
That was a life changer.
it was, I thought it was a major breakthrough for you. I really did.
Yeah.
Now, have you given the appreciation for that to yourself, first of all? Why don't you test and see if
Well,
you
it's funny
have?
because, well, this is what I did, it's a good example, because yesterday, then I felt appreciative that I saw something about myself that, you know, was probably affected my life negatively in my relationships, and I managed to, you know, let it in the coaching. But then I started feeling bad that I, you know, was stupid or looked bad or had, that's a lot. That place where I was last night, this was from Michael too, there's a lot of places where people in our past have left. Like a lot of people would not show up at any more meetings after that. I was thinking about Ron Brody or a lot of other people, like, even that would be where people would get off, so to speak, or leave.
Yeah, that's why our meetings are
Like,
small.
I almost felt humiliated slightly, like, oh, I don't want to come back any more meetings and have to look at what's wrong with me anymore.
So you blocked appreciation.
Yeah, so part of it was like hard to be seen again or see.
So obviously, if you're feeling that way, you're not going to call me up and thank me and appreciate me.
I tried, yeah, exactly, like last night. And then I appreciate you last night, but I thought, well, who else in the world could do that besides you? And, then I felt bad that I was so dependent on you. And what do you need? Is it locked up?
Well, actually, Michael did it.
Yeah.
So Michael did
Yeah,
it.
Michael did too.
But see
it was really you who helped us for
what
the-
you're saying is that you wouldn't call Michael and appreciate him for the same reason,
No,
right?
I appreciate Michael. As soon as it was over, I wanted to put something on his wall. Tell him, actually, I just did tell him how great he was and everything, but there was so much to do, and I had a guest here. And I appreciate Michael too, but I don't think if it was not for you, Michael and I would not have been able to make as much value out of that observation that he had, or insulting what happened.
So you appreciate me.
Yeah, I appreciate you. But then what happens inside of me, but then I get some sort of conflict where I feel dependent on you, or dependent on other people.
So then you disappreciate me.
Yeah, that I just feel sort of torn, or I feel like I get mad at myself and I still need
So you
people.
are having a lot of trouble with appreciation.
Yeah.
And we can listen to what you're saying and realize like that you're a person who you might be able to appreciate yourself for a second, and no sooner do you appreciate yourself than you're swarmed with negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You're gonna, you know what? I have to tell you, Barb, you're gonna have to cure this and spend all day at it until it's gone.
I have to work on it.
It's destroying you, and it always has. You've been like this for 30 years, ever since I met you. And I think
that was what you said on the meeting that sort of hurt me, or where I felt it was hard. You said something about how this has been debilitating on you and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's where I get the thing.
Utterly ruins your life, but you know what? I think you're a lot better.
Yeah, but again, that's the whole, this is what, we've been together 30 years, thinking I'm better all the time, but that makes
Well, see, I don't think, have you ever worked your past lives?
Yeah.
Well, then you understand that it's 30 years is nothing.
The people who are not at the meeting.
Barb.
Fine.
Barb?
Yes, what kind of question is that? Of course I have.
You understand? Okay, listen to me. You understand that 30 years is nothing. Try 600 years. And go on mute now. Give yourself a few minutes to recover from this, because I can see you're going through like a whole thing here,
What I mean is like this.
But Michael, what do you have to say about this? Are you learning anything?
Yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about that seemingly small little thing that happened last night, and kind of how it's kind of ironic that just like one little kind of unconscious statement, which could be viewed as just like a little joke, turns out to have all this deep meaning from connecting to past lives and all that.
It was small to you, but big to Barb.
Right, I was thinking about that too. Like, I wasn't really triggered by it, but I decided to mention it more I was coming from more of a place of, I noticed it, and I wanted to contribute my, this is one way, this is a cure that I'm working on right now, that you guys are helping me with, which is that which is that rather than let things that I notice go by unspoken, I'm coming forward and I'm putting them out there for consumption. Because that's what makes life interesting, and that's what creates growth. And
Well,
so
also,
I kind of feel like I appreciate myself for giving that to Barb.
yeah. See, you did something for Barb that nobody but you could have done. Like, you just caught that. I didn't catch it. I never would have even noticed it had you not said something. And you did say it, even though you weren't triggered by it, you cared about her. And that's why you said it.
Yeah, and it's because I want to promote like really straight, honest communication, and I detected that there was something behind it, what she said, and so I found it as an opportunity for me to contribute, to give something to her, but also contribute to the group to say, okay, here's an example of like where let's get conscious about what's behind it, an off-the-cuff remark we made, you know, and see what we're really saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to contribute, you know, to people and to the group and the bar.
I know you wrote a tweet and you said that you were committed to contributing interaction, remember?
Right, and so I'm sharing what I have to share and what I have to offer, and I've had a lot of experience in my communication courses and stuff, and so when I detect that here's an example of where, you know, there's an opportunity to improve communications and see what we really want to say,
Yeah.
then I want to contribute that to the group since I have some awareness of that.
You did good because, as Barb just said a minute ago, it was life-changing.
Well, Barbara's has done a lot of life-changing work for me. She's given me a lot of things over the years that have changed my life, and so I appreciate all those things, and I want to give back.
It means a lot for you to say that.
Yeah,
That sounds
sure.
cool. That's good. One thing I thought about last night was that I realized that I am here really because I'm here to support Byron in his mission. Like, I realized what Byron did with us yesterday, I probably couldn't really do. I don't really do. And so basically I'm here to support Byron in his mission, so that might sound cultish right there. But then a lot of my friends may be here to support me in my mission, like maybe Michael's here to support me, or in part to support me in my mission, but that's my mission though. So,
Michael is your person.
yeah, he's here to support me in doing my work, and my work may be to support you in doing your work.
That's the feudal system, Barb.
Well, that's not always very happy making to me sometimes, but I resign myself to it.
Well, what's interesting, I think you sound very Japanese now because that's exactly the way they talk. You know, it doesn't make me happy, but I resign myself to it. They say that. And, you know, they kept the feudal system after the samurai were abolished. Because it worked. You know, they realized that that was their strength, you know, was the feudal system. So, I never would have had a dog, were it not for you, Barb. And it
I thought about that yesterday too, and I saw a nice picture of you and Daisy and Zeke on your page. I was looking at the site last night.
It was the best thing that I ever did was having a dog, and I never would have done it without you. A dog is better than a girlfriend.
I'm sorry to see that.
Well, it's different.
I don't know. I haven't had a girlfriend for a while, so.
And you've had a dog the whole time, right?
I'm a dog or a girlfriend now, so I'm gonna give it a break. I have Anna's dog.
Barbie, is it sad?
What?
Are you sad?
I'm a little sad.
Are you feeling sad? Are
I'm
you
a little tired.
dancing? You're a little bit sad.
I am. I'm a little sad and I'm a little tired. I am very sad. Yes, I am. I'm emotional. I'm tired and disappointed in myself a little.
Why don't you relax and sit back, Barb, and I have something to talk with Michael about. Michael, you've been with Kate a long time, and I remember the other day I wrote and I said, "Are you going to marry the girl or what?" You know, and I'm wondering about that. Like, have you ever thought of asking Kate to marry you?
I'm feeling like this isn't a good time to talk about it.
Okay.
because I'm not alone.
Okay.
So it'll distract me, you know.
All right.
I don't.
Well, it's your thing. So I'm gonna honor you. I'm gonna respect your wishes in this matter.
Yeah, let's just bookmark it, and I'll be happy to do it another time.
All right, we'll set a bookmark.
Okay, but thank you for. And it's a great topic, and I'm not avoiding it. Just I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for Barb. I just wanted to know if you understand one. Like, remember last night I was saying like I didn't care if like Maggie was in the meeting. Like you were asking me about having all those people in the meeting. Barb, can you hear me? Barb? Barb, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Remember last night I was saying I didn't care about having those people in the meeting?
Yes.
And then I said I cared about having you in the meeting. Can you see why I care about having you in the meeting and not them?
Yes.
So tell me why I care about having you in the meeting and not them.
Because I'm here to contribute to the line of my mission and just to work. I'm not here to get anything proved to me or to get anything really.
Okay, so now you just...
I've already demonstrated where I, my willingness to be trained or to contribute.
So you just appreciated yourself.
Yeah, that's
That's self-appreciation. And you know, through it all, you probably do give yourself appreciation all day. Like you probably do understand your substantialness and your accomplishments, and that, you know, you're living the life of somebody who cures things. You stay connected to God. You're spiritual. All these things are accomplishments, and you probably know that, and that's probably what keeps you going. See, it may be that that appreciation is what keeps us going. It's a fuel. It's a kind of fuel, and we have to like really tick off. Like if I'm, let's say I'm going up to take my nap. This happens to me all the time, and I'm talking to Michael right now, by the way, Michael, so I have you on the big screen and I'm talking to you. But I'm just saying that this happens to me all the time, that, you know, like my morning is over, my lunch is over, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm going to go take a nap. And as I'm walking up the stairs, the thought will cross my mind, I didn't get anything done, right? You know, I'm disappointed. It's what you were talking about a few minutes ago. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed with the day. And all of a sudden I'll start listing, I'll start enumerating the things that I accomplished. It's become an automatic thing. And I didn't used to be this way. I would feel a desperation instead. But now I know how to give myself this fuel that I need so I can go take my nap with a big smile and actually work on solving some problems during my nap. I solve problems when I'm sleeping. That's one of my problem-solving times. So Michael, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think my disappointment is almost always related to being disappointed in other people or the way they react to me or the way they don't react to me. And I don't have any problem appreciating myself for everything I've done. Like I almost never have a day where I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. In fact, my problem is sort of paradoxical because I feel like, wow, I've accomplished so much and I've gotten so little appreciation from other people for it. And so that's my disappointment. My disappointment is I'll like have this incredibly productive day and I'll take good care of myself and exercise and get a bunch of work done and eat really good food. And then I feel like, and nobody, and I have no social connection. You know, it's like, I mean, I have no, people aren't flocking to me. I'm disappointed that other people don't seem to be flocking to me or coming to me because I have accomplished so much and yet where's the recognition?
Well, Michael,
that's sort of the nature of my issue. It's a little different than yours.
does Kate appreciate you?
Yes, she does, yes.
Okay, now do you let that appreciation, like when you're feeling not appreciated, do you stop and say, well, Kate appreciates me. You know, she feels good about what I did today. Do you ever do that?
I do, and I feel like it's not enough. Like I want more from other people, from more people. And I'm thankful that she does. I'm thankful for that because I feel like I would have nothing if it wasn't for her. But I feel like it's not enough.
Well, at the risk of starting an argument, I'm going to make a statement and say that Franny is not a real, like, generous person usually with appreciation. Although I think that has changed over the past few months, maybe a year or two. But for most of the time that I've known Franny, her appreciation was very valuable because of the rarity of it, you know. But it really was very valuable. Sometimes she would write a note or just tell me that she appreciated something I did, and it just like blow my mind, you know, because I'd say, wow, I must have done something really great if she appreciates me, you know.
When we got married, I handed him this little piece of paper that had this like note about how much I loved him and everything. And he started to cry, and afterwards, one of the guests who was my boss said, well, what did you write in that note that made Byron cry so much? Did you tell me you didn't want to get married or something? He didn't understand why I would cry, you know? I guess he was just so
I remember that
appreciative of my appreciation.
Well, actually, the reason I was crying was because of the note was a pledge, and it was so powerful that it just knocked me over. And I cried because of the power of it. It's like, I don't cry in sad movies. I cry in powerful movies. I cry in well-written movies, you know. When something is just so, like, it was just, that was one of the greatest moments of my life, reading that note. I absolutely did not expect to read anything like what you wrote to me. And you never asked me to write anything to you. You just did this thing unilaterally. I wasn't expecting a note or a pledge or anything. And there it was. It was like unbelievable.
Well, my way of moving towards people.
Well, it really worked. You definitely moved towards me because I was bonded to you for life after I read that note.
Unfortunately, right?
Unfortunately. Can't get rid of me. I'm like this thing stuck on your shoe now. But anyway, like that rat on the mastodon shoe in the Ice Age, you know. the rat on the bottom of the mastodon's foot.
I
Anyway,
don't-
never mind. You had to be there. And anyway,
Well, you know, I was
but the
telling
reason
Greg
I'm saying this to Michael, the reason I was telling Michael this, is because we were talking about Kate appreciating you, and for me, like Franny does give me appreciation, but also I know that Franny and Greg appreciate me. I know Barb appreciates me, for that matter, Barb. I know you appreciate me, you know?
Yeah, I have a funny love-hate thing going on now too, because I realize it's like I feel like I need you. And I don't think that's a good dynamic, you know, like I feel like I'm hooked into you because I need you.
Well, we need each other, and I think that is a good dynamic.
Yeah, but not really, not really.
Needing people is a good thing. You know, I mean, like, the only people who don't need anybody are the people who are liars. And they're often lying to themselves, thinking they don't need anybody. You know,
I could live
if you listen,
without you guys, but I need you because my life is better with you.
well, if you listen to John Lennon's song, Barb, remember, and he says, "Do you need anybody?"
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. You know, it's like you needing is important. Like the people who say everybody's trying to pose that they don't need anybody. You know, they're just, and then they die, you know, and they put them in a coffin and stick them in the ground.
Greg was telling me last night, like, you know, he spends a lot of time alone and he doesn't realize how big a separation
The separation effect it had on me.
for him to overcome that without communicating. And lately he's been moving towards communication. Like he said, he clears up after he communicates.
Oh, Barb, go on mute.
It's just, you know, he doesn't, I mean, he said he didn't even realize the safety was in when he wasn't.
I did it first and then I let it go because, I mean, I just said, oh, well, I'm dealing with this by myself. I have to be strong or I have to be some way or that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Well, anyway, the thing about I was trying to say to Michael is that it seems as though I have enough appreciation from other people in my life so that I actually don't need, like I'm not in desperate need. Like if I go all out for somebody trying to help them and then they just like disappear or walk away, or like this woman, I was trying to help this woman and she writes this note and she said, "I'm fine, great knowing all of you, thanks so much for everything." That was the last thing she ever wrote to us. It was the funniest thing. I was like, I mean, I felt kind of stupid because I never realized how clueless she was, but I didn't feel bad about her disappearing because I really have enough without her. So she was a value added, but she wasn't like something that I desperately needed. So maybe, I mean, the appreciation that I need at this point in my development has got to come from me. Like I have to say, well, it's really also it's evaluation. Like for example, I wrote an outline for this meeting, and I have it here in front of me on my smartphone, and I have to say, okay, this is a good thing for me to be doing, and it's enough. You know, and it's important enough for me to do it. So I have to appreciate it that way, or not do it. And that's what it comes down to, that I have to be like sorting through all the things that I do, and if I can't appreciate myself for something, just not do it. Like I'm not going to fight with people or argue with them because I'm not going to hurt people's feelings anymore to try to get a result with them.
I'm relieved to hear it, believe me.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything, and I can't really appreciate myself when I do those things. And then, you know, whatever else comes is good. You know, it's fine. So I don't know does this help you in any way, Michael?
Well, it's become very clear to me in the last half hour, 45 minutes, it's very clear to me how the perception of disappointment, of being disappointed by others, and the perception of not getting enough appreciation from others is a dysfunction, and what those things are in reality are reflections of lack of appreciation for ourselves and disappointment in ourselves.
Yeah,
very clearly.
Good. Well done.
If we are immersed in appreciation, saturated with self-appreciation, saturated with satisfaction in ourselves, then we are not triggered by what other people do because the stakes aren't very high, and we can kind of notice it and go, "Oh, that was interesting," and then move on. And so to the extent that we are triggered by other people and suffer and have negative experiences of lack of appreciation or disappointment by others, it simply reveals what's going on in ourselves. That's what I'm getting.
Wow, that's well said.
Yep. Well said.
That's what I'm getting.
So you have to sift through everything you're doing now, because you may be doing things that you can't appreciate yourself for.
And I'm angry with myself for things. It could be things that I'm procrastinating on, that I've neglected to do, that I want to do and haven't gotten myself to do. And so I procrastinate, I don't do them, and then I'm disappointed in myself, but I'm triggered by other people when I think that my problem is other people.
Have you ever looked at the list of immune dysfunctions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because any of those immune dysfunctions can interfere with appreciating yourself or somebody else.
Right.
Any one of them can do that. They can all interfere with appreciation.
Well, I recognize in my relationship with Greg that I just didn't know what to do, but I just realized recently that I just never gave him enough appreciation. You know, it's like that is so important an element in a relationship where, especially a guy giving a woman, but the woman has to give appreciation too, like validate the guy. You know, and I just was like, I don't know what I was doing. I was really unconscious of noticing that it, you know, if I wanted something, I really have to be putting out too.
I want to try something with Michael. I'm going to point to something on my screen, and you tell me if you have this. I want you to test for it without being able to see what it is, okay? And that will be totally intuitive then.
Okay.
So this one, and you just, if you don't get a signal, I'm just going to go through them. You know, if you don't get a signal, don't say anything. This one. This one, this one, this one. Huh?
Could we do it again? I was kind of reluctant to say anything, but I did test positive on a few of those, but can you just do it again?
This one, this one.
Yeah, that one, I got a positive on that first one, yeah.
Okay. Grudges.
Grudges.
Unfinished business, non-appreciation both ways.
I have 1,000 of those.
Those are two different kinds. Well, you can go into the list of immune dysfunctions to see it if you forget it, but it's under G. But it's funny because you test the thing you tested for is really what this thing is, what our thing is about here. This class, you know. And which, by the way, we're going to end in 5 minutes. I just want everybody to know. So you haven't just been disappointed; you've been holding grudges.
Right.
And those will interfere with appreciating yourself or, other people. Any immune dysfunction will interfere with appreciation.
Right. And I see how that works. I can clearly see that.
Oh, yeah.
And I can clearly see how easy it is to falsely attribute the dysfunction to somebody else, to what somebody else is doing, when it really has nothing to do with it.
Well, all of this being said, we have a couple more minutes, and does anybody see anything that we should have talked about that we may have forgotten to talk about or missed? Like something that you were expecting to see covered that wasn't?
I do complete.
Well, okay, good. So it feels like we've covered the topic, and the bottom line is that you know that you're in a healthy state of appreciation when you continuously appreciate yourself throughout the day. And Barb, in your case, like, you probably do appreciate yourself throughout the day, but you have to watch to see if you also cancel your appreciation as soon as you give it to yourself. You understand? You with me? Like, look for self-canceling behavior.
I just think I have a lot sort of dependent on other outside, evidence or something. Yeah.
I recognize that.
Well, I like evidence too. I just like real evidence. The evidence that you're looking for may not be evidence. It may just be approval. Like, you may be confusing approval with evidence.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, remember last night when Brenda got a signal and then later she was so happy and she was like bubbling away about how she felt so good about herself? That's evidence. But it might sound like approval to you, so then you would look for approval from Nancy to confirm it, and maybe Nancy doesn't give approval, so then you go, well, oh shit, I guess maybe Brenda was wrong, and it's all downhill from there. You see what I mean? Like, you have to collect evidence and not care about approval. And see, the thing that's always been, the funny thing about you, Barb, is the thing that's always been your strength is you don't give a shit what people think.
Yeah.
Like, that's the basis of your relationship with me, because neither do I.
Well, I don't know, but I think she does care, but
I know, I care desperately in a lot of ways, but not much that I just, feel like do average behavior, I don't care. But I like get, mad that I can't keep up, that I'm not articulate or clear enough to keep up and have something to offer that, like, appreciated by the masses. Like, all my friends go off and do the Abraham thing and all those things, but you think, like, well, I can't produce something that's that interesting to people. Like, I realize I'm just not made of that stuff. But maybe that's my delirious nature to think that I have, I get in this place where I think I'm something that I'm not. But my real job, that's what I thought about last night, is to really empower you and try to be here for you, to support you in the what you do, because you're, and you're masterful enough to pull it together. Where I'm not like that. I have, moments of brilliance, and I'll fall off the map and not show up.
if you can be there for someone else, if you appreciate yourself, Barb.
Yeah, I have, I mean, I have my moments, but that's
Love
just way, like,
when it flows from within, and then, you know, if you've got that love for yourself, you have some to spare for others.
yeah, I mean, I
It's
guess,
very attractive when people see that you love yourself and you don't need anything from them.
yeah, I mean, sometimes I have to resign myself to feeling like I'm okay with myself. If I just had you guys and, you know, this was my life, I'd be okay with that. I've learned how to be okay with that rather than want something I don't have. I don't think I'm going to change that much, is what I'm trying to say. For the rest of my life, I try to. And I've accepted myself, but you can't.
Well, just take baby steps, Barb, take baby steps. That's what was great, because itsy-bitsy. You know, itsy-bitsy.
Well, maybe I can stop with always trying to get somewhere that I'm not, just be okay with where I'm at and what I'm doing. All that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to end in a minute, so Barb, go on mute and I'll just say the last couple of things.
I do want to say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that when I don't appreciate myself, I do tend to push people away, and I know other people who do too. So that's a major component of being with someone else, is really appreciating myself and the other person.
Yeah, you can't have a relationship if you don't appreciate yourself. And if you do appreciate yourself, you'll have a relationship with the right person. And you won't choose the wrong person.
That's the way of saying it.
Yeah. And also, when you have the right person, you won't, like, betray or sell them short. But actually, the way I want to end this is just by saying that, you know, like Barb was talking about evidence, and I want to, like, go back to that, because, like, last night, when I was watching some of the things that happened in our meeting, and, you know, Barb is talking, like, there are so many things, like she's talking about this Abraham thing, and, you know, it's probably, you know, something that, you know, is, you know, we can learn something from it. There's all these people who are like these kind of enlightening people that, you know, we can, you know, get various nice things from. But I will say that what I saw Brenda get last night, she could not have gotten from anything but this. And it's the same with what I saw Barb get last night and what I saw Michael do, that never would they have ever been able to do that with any of these other things. So
That's a good point.
there's my, see, for me, you see, that's how I appreciate myself. There's my evidence, and then after I hang up from this meeting, I can go upstairs and take my nap with a sense of smug self-satisfaction and be self-righteous and say, well, you know, screw them all, you know, this is better. And there's my appreciation right there, you know. And I'll tell you something else, as far as what I have gotten in my life, see, that's the big thing for me, is that I appreciate God, and I'm with God all day, and I'm grateful to God all day, and I appreciate God all day. And I guess, you know, that's sort of like appreciating myself for being able to, like, hold myself in this connection with God all the time.
That's true, yeah.
In the face of all this other stuff going on, you know, Anna's supposed to call me, and I got to write this outline, and oh, Anna didn't call, but that's okay because I'm writing the outline. But suppose she calls when I'm in the middle of dictating something. How am I going to, will I remember the thing I'm saying if I answer the phone? You know, and I'm like thinking about all this stuff. And in the middle of all that, I'm staying connected to God and not dropping into doingness and getting into these tasks and like, okay, what's the next thing I need to say in the meeting? You know, oh, I should definitely say this, and it just becomes drudgery. So
Yeah.
I have to stay in this God connection. It's the God connection that causes me to appreciate myself.
Yeah.
Staying connected to God. Yes, Greggy. Did you want to say something in
No,
final?
I agree.
You what?
I agree. I concur.
You concur.
Thank you. Thank you for the blessing, Glenn.
Well, in that case, I want to thank everybody, and let's all connect our results bodies and say sayonara. We'll speak on Twitter.
Nara, thank you.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
See you later. Love you guys. I'll call you.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. This is the Cure Drive Cult homepage. You can see we tally our cures. That's the tally there, 132,000. You report your cures here, right here. That's the link to report your cure. Okay, this is the movie that people start with generally. And there's a lot of people actually curing things on camera in this movie and demonstrating exactly how to do it. It's 4.5 hours. So you would be able to probably understand and know what these people are doing by watching this. We are a cult because we're all over the world. Maybe one person in a town, just one little guy who cures things in a whole town full of people who don't, whose spouse thinks she's crazy because she's curing things and he doesn't. You know, she doesn't get sick and he's down with the flu for 5 days and he still thinks she's crazy. We've had spouses die. So this person is demonstrating curing herpes in this movie, the one you're watching right there. And it goes on like that. Now, these are the people here. You see this black area here? This is our Twitter feed. These are the people you want to talk to. And what you do, see, it says follow Cure Drive. And that's what you do. You click on that, and then you pick somebody. Anybody in here will be happy to help you. So you write to people that you see in here. And there's all these people all talking about what they're curing. So that's what you do. You pick somebody that you know that seems like a kindred spirit, presumably, and you write to them. See that picture of the cat there? That's Rosella. She's one of the people whose spouse died. He was a very great guy. He just thought it was nuts. Never did it. Died of cancer. Not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So anyway, you just, you write to somebody and, tell them what you are trying to do. People are always asking about negative medical tests. Here, let me show you. This is a voicemail message. You should probably, if you're interested in getting a negative medical test on, let's say, herpes, she got negative medical tests and both kinds of herpes. And she left me this message when she got her letter from the, hospital, I guess. She was in New Zealand. So her tests are free. Now, of course, there's an enormous website behind this homepage. I guess you're probably guessing, right? And if you see these movies, these are all people demonstrating curing various diseases. these people chose to contribute their cures to your effort to cure yourself. There are around, I guess, over 800 movies, and some of them are linked to this page. So if you click on any one of these pictures, it will go to a movie, and that movie will start playing. So join the cult. Your friends will be worried about you. You're in a cult, they'll be worried. You have the crazy idea that you can cure medically incurable diseases. They're going to be very concerned. Especially if you're battling cancer. Your friends will be worried, and that's a good thing. You will cure things. And that is also a very good thing. You will begin curing things the moment you join, because that's how you join. You cure something. When you cure something, you're in the cult. If you want to get out of the cult, just stop curing things. You won't be in the cult anymore. It's easy to exit. Your easy exit strategy. And who knows? You may even cure the medically incurable disease that you came in here to cure. A lot of us did. That's me there in the movie holding forth on how to cure things. I'm on the cure team. That's what I did. I cured a medically incurable disease. Two of them, actually. So I cured 2 kinds of herpes. It was about 4 months after I started doing this that I actually discovered, I'm the person who discovered that you could cure physical diseases. July 1993, my 20th anniversary just passed. I haven't had an outbreak of herpes for 20 years, and before that, I was having outbreaks for 28 years. I got herpes in 1965. The end of the year. 28 years of outbreaks followed by 20 years of no outbreaks. That's how bad it can be and how good it can be if you let it be good. So, take the courageous step that almost everyone you know will advise you not to take. Join the cult. When you're in the cult, your friends will get sick and you will get well. Your friends will give sympathy and you will give cure. And you'll know that you don't even need to take a vitamin pill to cure something. You can just cure it with nothing. Just with you. What can you contribute? What will your contribution be? This woman is curing a flu right on camera. She came in with full symptoms and they were all gone in 15 minutes. You can see it happen. Flu is an incurable viral-based disease. It's medically incurable. She cures it right in front of you. We eagerly await your contribution. And here they are, eagerly awaiting your contribution. And anything that you say to any of these people will probably be a contribution of some kind.